some of us here, Joan, I was there in the 60s when you sang We Shall Overcome. And it was your songs expressed the zeitgeist, the feeling of the time. There was hope, and it was the beginning of a new time. And now I am in my 60s. The world seems so much worse. We have an unprecedented violation of our planet, the corporatization of our planet. Billions of animals are being slaughtered every year. Human rights are being violated through war, through the easy solution of dropping bombs. It's so easy to despair. Do you despair sometimes, or do you still feel deep in your heart, we shall overcome?
Yeah, I think we live in a time now where we have to count little victories and big defeats. Because if we recognize the background to what we're all living in, it's a massive defeat. I mean, it's really pretty ghastly. So every little victory, every little decent thing that we do, every little kid who decides they're going to go and teach kids in the Appalachians or going to go and take care of Romanian refugees, every little bit of that counts more now than ever. And I've never been an optimist. When I was 15 and people said, oh, you're an optimist, I say, no, I'm not, maybe not a pessimist, but I'm a realist. And we have to look around and see, this is the world we're living in. What do we do to not despair? And what do we do that may bring some good to other people while we're doing it? And I do think there'll be another time period where we are together and we are singing We Shall Overcome together and have that unified feeling that many of the people here never had. We had it in the 60s and we understand that. And many people haven't even had that yet. So we're kind of in a meantime. And how we behave during the meantime is going to reflect in whatever the next serious movement is, I think.
I'll just get quick responses from our panel. And Tim, I suspect you are, in fact, an optimist, otherwise you wouldn't be doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I totally agree that you've got to keep hope alive. And at the end of the day, the world that we're living in, and we're all just fragile humans trying to get by, has to believe that there is a hope that sees the solidarity of human existence. You know, the world's a waterbed. You press down here, it comes up here. Climate change, immigration and refugees, financial transactions. So I actually have hope that we'll move toward that together.
Rowan.
I'll jump on Tim's waterbed. It sounds great fun. Look, we get very despondent and despair about a lot of things, but the reality is we live in a wonderful country, but we actually do live in a wonderful world that is far more peaceful and far more prosperous in many, many parts of that world than it has ever been. And a lot of people have been lifted out of poverty and are enjoying a far better life. And I think that's the way we want to keep going.
Terry Butler.
Well, I'm an optimist. I've got a friend who was a peace negotiator, and he said you have to maintain strategic optimism. And the reason for that is because if you don't, then of course you're not going to succeed. The only way to really overcome the great challenges that we face is to believe that we can and to do it together. And I know that sounds trite and Pollyanna-ish, but that's the way it is, and I'll always be an optimist.
John Hewson.
Look, the challenge to overcome is still there. It's just become a lot more urgent than it was in the 60s, in my view.
And also, one last thing is that I think you can be a pessimist if you want. You still have to behave in a decent way. For us, there's only the trying, and the rest is not our business.
That's a great place to end our program.